Alright, hello everybody, Skyrim here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, this time around we're going to jump right into things here. This is going to be, hopefully, a returnable guide for everyone out there, old or new players, across the board for, of course, 2025, I suppose, if you want to tagline it as such. So we're going to go ahead and start out with, right here, the Reddit post, one that was from about 6 months ago, mind you, but there is this nice Google Doc spreadsheet, of course, in this link here. That's what we're going to discuss. Okay, we're going to go and show a little bit of this and show how it operates and functions, what you can expect to find in it, that kind of thing. So, as you can see, this is the Diablo Immortal Guide spreadsheet. Let's go ahead and let's say, click on Wizard. You go hover over Wizard Builds, click on that, and it brings up this entire table here. Of course, unfortunately, I'm not in this list of these sourced YouTube videos on here, but nonetheless, you can check that out on my channel regardless of the fact, for Wizard. I hope that you do. But as you can see here, there is and this is how this breaks it down. There is a list of things here. There is PvE and PvE builds, etc., etc. We know the PvP builds mostly, however, will change over the course of time, so you always have to kind of go with the flow and keep an eye on that. So there is always a gradual mix-up, not all the time, mind you. It does take some time, depending on how well or bad the essences that we get released. As case in point, the most recent set for Wizard being a little rough. There are still some things that could be made use of with them, but not really all that much. But anyway, this is how this looks. This is how it works. You get the general idea. I just wanted to show you what this is for what it is. I will put these links in the description of the video down below to find all said things for you to check out on your own time. But I do invite you to hopefully make this a returnable watchable video and help me out. We can help each other out in this, and there we go. So there is that one. Now I also wanted to put in the next thing here, which is a brief synopsis. There's a little gray area to this one. However, this kind of will be a one-stop shop as far as that's concerned as well when it comes to what is strifed. The strife things in PvP. This isn't 100% accurate, mind you, but for the most part it breaks it down in a nice and pretty little column right here. Okay, what is being reduced? Actually, almost every bonus, equipment, affix, gem effect, family bonus, and other effects like some shields. There are exceptions, and it's always depending on the source of the bonus. So what isn't strifed or reduced? Legendary essences, to a point. Now, I can go ahead and break this down right now. Some of the ones that have percentage-based effects to them, sometimes those will be, of course, rightfully, they will be strifed. And that's just how it is. However, what is not, and this is a 100% guarantee, what is not strifed at all when it comes to your legendary essences is the awakened. The awakened bonuses, which is why these are so very much important in the game. The awakened bonuses, the stuff in green, is the stuff that is unaffected by strife, okay? And of course, the set bonuses that you have in the game as well is not strifed. So, like in this case for Vithu's Urges, the 30% beneficial effect duration increase, that is not strifed in PvP. So that is why these are very, very important when you go and pick your set bonuses while you are in there. Okay, getting back around to let's look at this list again. Let's see, Paragon effects, yes. The Warband Rune benefits. Now this one again is also a good thing that you want to make definite use of. I use Protector. Damage for all Warband members decreased by. But mostly what I use Protector for is the additional movement speed. Your size is increased by 15% and your life is increased by 6.5, which in this game gives you an inherent movement speed bonus. Okay, so that's why a lot of players in PvP, especially for this reason here alone, for the extra movement speed and of course a little bit of damage reduction. So there is that. Let's see what else we have. Further exceptions to strife rule. Oh yeah, maximum HP and life affixes. There is that. Player damage increase and reduction. Now those are very, very nice to have, of course. You deal more damage to players. I don't know if I have any pieces on currently. This is my mishmash build for raids. So this is kind of a little bit... Oh, these ones here. Movement speeds and such. Nearby enemy damage, perhaps. That applies as well. More movement speed, damage... Oh, here. Damage taken from players reduced. That kind of thing. This is obviously... Oh, here we go. This is not strifed. Sorry, I got all this stuff in the way. There we go. But yeah, things of this nature, these are not strifed as well, so that's just why you want to stack this wherever you can find it when exploring the aspects of PvP. Okay, so there is that. Going back to this one more time real quick. Bottled Hope cooldown reduction is unaffected by strife. So that is very, very nice to have as well, which is why Bottled Hope in a lot of cases still is a very good PvP gem. And movement speed in general, it says attention movement speed from eternal class gear affixes are strife. Oh yes, movement speed from eternal class gear affixes are strifed. So that one unfortunately is. So keep that in mind. Just again, there's a few gray areas still when it comes to the legendary gems. Sometimes the primary effects are fine, or vice versa. The secondary effects to them could be better and that sort of thing. So it is what it is. Blood-soaked jade, for instance, the movement speed is good. The secondary one here for the take % decreased damage while below 50% life, that one's a percentage based, so that one could be in the realm of being strifed. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritties, and I just want to kind of keep this a little bit more bare bones, basic across the board with everything here. Again, as a one-stop shop for all things Diablo Immortal, and things to hopefully help you out in building your characters up, things that you might not know, things that you have forgotten about, all things above. And finally, I'm going to wrap things up with the last thing here, which is the Diablo Immortal website that this one person has taken the reins of from one that was previously made and built upon it quite well and continues to do so. There is a most recent addition here to it. We're going to go ahead and cover this and break things down if you haven't seen this already. And again, I will put all of these things in the description, the links to all the things that I've shown in the video here in the description box down below of the video. So be sure to check those out, and then of course you can peruse those whenever is best for you. But again, I would hopefully like to bring everybody back to this one as many times as possible, obviously, just for YouTube reasons. But nonetheless, here we go. They added a leaderboard section, which this one is kind of hit or miss. It's whatever. It shows a lot of 13K resonance players. In case you ever were curious and wanted to check them out, you can, I suppose. But the most important things, of course, are all the things on the side here. Legendary gem section, the gem section, there's a set section, the dungeon, class change section, and runes and enchants. Enchants is another recent one as well. We're going to go ahead and take a look at all of these and explain how to go about and what you need to focus on. Legendary gems. Pretty straightforward and simple. I did cover this in the video a while ago, and I wanted to highlight this yet again because, again, one-stop shop for all the things here, all the guides you may need. Aside from familiars, that's a whole nother ball of wax. That would take a whole nother full video to do because that is still a convoluted mess. So I'll hopefully try to get around to doing so. It's still a gray area for me because I haven't really dealt with it. As a 100% free to play, Familiars is definitely endgame, and when you have like a lot of extra platinum that you just want to burn, honestly. So that's why I've kind of stayed away from it. So anyway, getting back around to this though, however, with the legendary gems, this is a nice little thing here. You can see how much you need for gem power, how many copies of the gem you want to upgrade in total, all the way up to rank 1 to rank 10 for a 1-star gem. You can see here, and you can adjust this list however you need to. If you want to go one at a time, you can do it that way and see how much you need to have saved up. Everything still applies the same for 2-star gems. Let's go ahead and go up to a rank 5 in this one. So this is what you need to get to a rank 5 2-star gem. How many copies total that you will need to get there, etc., etc. And of course, they also show in the awakening slots here as well, which ones are the recommended for getting those extra boosts on the legendary gems. So the ones that you need to slot in to get those extra added advantages. Then we have the 5-star gem right here, of course, and there is the awakened slots down here, which gems they say to put in and slot into all of those for the extra resonance boost and things of that nature. How much gem power yet again? In this case, the Haunt Coil from 1 to rank 5. You're going to need 7 copies of it to get from 1 to rank 5, and a total of 475 gem power to pull that off. So that is things to help you plan out better whenever you want to go and upgrade certain legendary gems along the way. Of course, the long game, free to play, must play in order to pull things off. So we have to be very, very meticulous and particular about how we want to go about doing this. And it's a slow, arduous process. But ultimately, I feel like it is the most rewarding in a sense. I know it's a long, hard road, but at the same time, I'm still very, very proud of the fact that, you know, the free-to-play account that I have is still very impactful as far as the game as a whole goes in the pay-to-win space. Okay, I still can get my shots in, pick and choose your fights whenever you can. Yes, it's not always going to be in your favor. That's just how it goes. But you make the best of what you have. And that's always the key point to be taken away from all of this. Okay, so getting into the normal gem section here. This is where things get really nasty, as we all know. I'm going to say this right now. As free-to-play, low spenders, I'd say the pretty much hard cap. You could call it a soft cap too, necessarily, but pretty much the hard cap, you're going to be pushing to rank 8 gems. If you've been playing the long game, some of you out there might be closer, depending on how much you work the markets and things of that sort, of which we know the market's still on fire, and even more so worse than it has been. But I'd say pretty much rank 8 is where you can pretty much not really stress over it anymore. Once you get all of your gems to rank 8, at that point, good luck in trying to ever see them go higher than that, especially if you're a free-to-play or low spender. So that's just the long and short of it. It can get really outrageously pricey. This is where a lot of your platinum will be burnt, and this is where a lot of my platinum is burnt, is upgrading these normal gems. So you can see the Echo Crystals, which cost platinum. Yes, they want to. The developers, of course, want us to burn our platinum in any way, shape, or form that they can, be it familiars or normal gems here in this case, that kind of thing. It is what it is. It is what it always has been. This is what I save up as much platinum as possible, as my personal preference on this, and this is what I use it for the absolute most, is upgrading the normal gems. Because in the long run, of all things considered in the game here, let's go ahead and show this. Secondaries, again, I was going to do this in a separate video. I have done so in the past, but secondaries are pretty much, honestly, king over resonance when it comes to a lot of things, and this stuff matters even in PvE, especially in PvE. Mostly armor penetration is where you really want to go further deep into it with. Again, this is my mishmash build for raids, so everything's kind of all over the place and not really dialed in the way I'd like it to be. This is just for pure combat raiding purposes, but still, nonetheless, these are the things that you want to focus on every difficulty that you go up, to see how far off you are from the recommended in the current activity and difficulty. Okay, this is something that a lot of newer players might not realize or even notice, because obviously you're getting so much of an XP boost as a newer player to catch up to the server paragon. That's just how things are. That's what the game has done. It's a heavy catch-up mechanic, to say the least. You will be leveling so fast you won't even know what to do with yourself, and you'll find that where your gear and everything starts to falter and fall behind. The big takeaway from all of this is normal gems are your definite friend. Get them any way possible, be it the daily party gems, the 12 a days, and also your weekly. At the very least, make sure you get all the weekly gems that you can every single week, because that will add up over time and that will help cushion this your deficit here, which I'm sure a lot of players, newer players especially, are going to have. This is definitely something that you want to focus on, and definitely something that you need to keep in mind, okay? All right, I don't want to go too heavy into this. I didn't want to make the video too long. I wanted to kind of, you know, give a bit more of a snapshot, but here we are, covering a lot of bases in this one. But this, again, is a very good site to make use of. I'm very happy that this is more, you know, obviously has been, they took it upon themselves to pick up the older one that was left behind, and then they just built upon it and done a very good job of doing so. Let's go ahead and take a look at these other tabs while we're here and discuss these things and what they mean. The set section, of course, breaks down all the sets and the bonus effects of them from 2 to 4 to 6 piece, and it makes it very nice there, and also shows if you hover over all of these where you can find them, which dungeons, things of that nature. Of course, we have the Set Hunter event ongoing still as of this recording, so that kind of throws things out the window, because you can pick more so to hopefully, and you're not always going to have it happen, but hopefully get the ones that you want on your preferred drop table. So there is that, okay? And now we have a dungeon section here, just the same, pretty much along the same lines here. It shows like Mad King's Breach, which pieces are to be dropped within it, and then the rapids, Lazy River, you know, that one, things of that sort. This kind of breaks it down into a different format. Now granted, we do have this actually in game ourselves. If you forget about this, obviously this is for newer players mostly. You can look at it in here, random dungeons. You can actually go to pick a particular dungeon in your codex here, like let's see, where is it? Oh, come on, it should be that hard to find this time around. Why game? Dungeons. Okay, we got regular dungeons here, and when you click on it here, of course it will give a breakdown, and you can see all the things here. You can even travel to it immediately. It'll show the rewards from it, and here you go. This breaks it down just the same as the website there does as well. So you can see all the pieces of set items that will drop, like in this case the Mad King's Breach. You just click on it there. Everything can be found in your codex in game, so if you don't want to travel to the website right away, if you're unsure and you can't remember, there's that. Like I said, again though, we still have the ongoing events, still the Blessed Hunter, to pick the sets that you want to get whenever you go on your random dungeon runs. So that's what this is for, ongoing. This will be ending in the middle of December. Hopefully they might extend it. Hopefully they honestly might just make it. They need to make it permanent. Let's be real. They need to make it permanent. But that's a whole other thing we've discussed previously on other videos, and we're detracting now from the purpose of this one. So getting back on topic. This one here, class change. This is for class specific affixes in your gear. This is very nice, because this will show you what they will transition to from class to class. So say you are a wizard and you go and want to change to barbarian. Well, if you have an ice armor affix on any of your pieces of gear, that will then in turn, when you switch to barbarian, will become whirlwind. So this is a nice little tool here as well. I'm glad to see this as well. Switch this, in this case, to Demon Hunter. Ice Armor then turns into the Daring Swing affix skill. So there you go. Very nice. I like this one a lot too. And also, here we go into runes next, right? And they have legendary, rare, magic, normal. You can select any of the ones you choose. Obviously, the end game ones are going to be the legendary, and this is for all slots currently. You can kind of plan out, or try to, that is, obviously, in seeing the bonuses that you want. Now, granted, I am still using a bit of a mishmash myself to this day, and some of these I would definitely love to upgrade into the orange runes. I'm still using blue. Why am I still using blue on the weapon? Well, because it gives movement speed increased. I like to keep my movement speed inherently maxed out at all times. I have the 20% maximum movement speed, and granted, yes, there are certain things and abilities that will give me movement speed bonus, and I could swap out these runes, but I just like this to be up at, you know, as maximum at all times that it can be, so that's why I still use the blue ones. It's crazy, I know, but it is what it is. So that just kind of breaks that down, and of course you can see each and every one of these. The ones at the very bottom here, I do believe are the high, yeah, they are the highest percentage of your base attribute of equipped item increase, 10% here. So these are the top of the top ones down here at the bottom for the orange legendary runes that you can get, and it's what we pretty much all strive after, of course, and then slot them in all the places that whenever we can. But good luck to you on getting those, and most times the sellable ones you're going to want the platinum for anyway, so yeah. It's a hard decision, especially as a free-to-play player, but it is, you know, yeah, we have to make those hard decisions, and hopefully, again, with these tools at our disposal here, it will make things a lot better overall. And then finally, moving on to the enchantment section they added recently as well. This one is very, very, very nice. It goes for all things and for all classes that you have here. And this is your enchants, and this also shows, like, if you want to, it will show you all the available enchantments for the piece as well. I mean, you can see this in game whenever you go and do an enchantment. Now, granted, you have to have your gear at max rank of 30 on the blacksmithing for the legendary pieces to do some of these enchants on those. So keep that in mind. Same thing applies to the set items. I think it was level 20 though is what you have to have for your rank on your set pieces. I forget. It's been a while. I'm not 100% on that. But this is where enchanting comes into play at the blacksmith, and then you can go class specific ones as well whenever you go and craft your gear. Same thing applies here. Let me go ahead and show you that in game if you didn't already know, if you haven't already tried this. These are the things that the enchantment section is referring to. So let's keep all our ducks in a row here. Enchant. Excuse me. Sorry, it's blurred out. Enchant. Okay, and then you go and pick said piece of gear. And these are the magic attributes that I have on this one, because this is the ancient legendary helmet still from the previous difficulty. Still awaiting to be able to craft the new one, but nonetheless, this one we can actually alter. We can actually alter this one. And then this one involves using the ancient scraps. This is where the ancient scraps come into play, and you have to enchant with. Or actually you don't have to, but you can if you want to, and use that in its place instead of this cost. So that's kind of nice. But anyway, this is what it breaks down to, and that is what that whole menu is in that website. You can, again, see this stuff in-game if you didn't already know. And then, of course, when it comes to the crafting section of it, you can make your own gear and put on the special magic class attributes along with the, whenever you do the fine crafting, of course, which is using rhodolite. And then here you can pick the one that you want, depending on which piece of gear is available to have the skill bonus on it. Okay, that is what all that is. And that is what, again, one more time, what the enchant section tab is here. It breaks it down nice and pretty, just the same. So if you're not in game and you just kind of want to, sit down at some point or another outside of the game, or if you have some free time, whatever, this is kind of a nice thing to look at and break it down and explore this method here. I very much, again, am highly appreciative of this person here and what they've done so far with this, and they continue to update this. And then of course you can always support them and do the buy me a coffee thing. That's up to you though, of course, but it is there. Kudos to them yet again. I am just putting that out there for everyone to make use of. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna wrap things up here. Gone on long enough on this one. Again, I wanted to make it a one-stop shop, so maybe that's why I unfortunately had to go a little long, and I did go into a little bit more in-depth details on some things here. Again, I will go ahead and put the link to the spreadsheet, the Google Doc spreadsheet, and this site, the Diablo Immortal Fun site here, will be in the description box down below. So be sure to check those out and use them in any way best serves you, of course, in all of this. And hopefully you'll revisit this video as often as you can here and help me out at the same time on the YouTube algorithms and things of that nature, because it's always the you know, the grind. It's always the YouTube grind. So I appreciate you, all of you out there. As always, thank you for your continued support, and as always, stay safe out there in the real world on fire. Take care of yourselves as best you can, one day at a time. It's all we can do. It's the best we can do for sure, believe me on that. Until next time, see ya.